The last take on Notre Dame and Texas A&M before it gets on and popping in week 3 of the college football season in South Bend, Indiana. We will have a reaction for you on this show the Sunday morning after this game. So if you want our thoughts post-game, make sure you are subscribed. If you're a Texas A&M fan or you're a Notre Dame fan, or if you're just a college football sicko and you love this sport with every fiber of your being, guess what? Us too. All right, so if that's you, make sure you subscribe. We appreciate y'all in advance for being dialed in. My last take on Notre Dame before we get rocking and rolling for this week 3 college football slate. If you've been paying attention to what's been going on leading up to this game on the Notre Dame side, Jaden Greathouse, an individual who is from the state of Texas, feels a certain degree of confidence going up against this A&M secondary. He mentioned pregame, leading up to this game in a press conference. Yeah, I think a little bit handsy, does the secondary for A&M, but should it be anything we can't handle? Now, is he trying to give A&M some bulletin board material? I don't know, but I will say this. I think Jaden Greathouse is a dog for Notre Dame, one of the best, if not the best receiver in that room, had zero impact against Miami. That will not be the case in this game against A&M. Even if Notre Dame goes down swinging, I think Jaden Greathouse and the personal element that is for him in this game, with him being a kid from the state of Texas and probably not liking A&M and having, I'm sure, a good amount of friends that go to A&M, I think this is the Jaden Greathouse game. I think he gets a ton of targets. I think he gets involved in the game plan at a high level. I think you see the screens. I think Mike Denbrock goes back to the drawing board after having a week to sit on it after that Miami game and says, no. Number one, has got to touch the football. I think Jaden Greathouse has a big day in this game. Now, for A&M, I think this is the spot where the entire country gets introduced to Marcel Reed. Now, I think a lot of people know who Marcel Reed is. I think a lot of people remember him from the LSU game a year ago. I think a lot of people, maybe most notably, know him from his acting work in the Sonic commercial where he takes his girl back from Smasher the Burger. But in this spot now, this is one of the primetime games. You got, a couple other good games in this window, but really this is going to be one of the games that early on in the year is going to have a pretty large impact on how we view both these teams and, quite frankly, both these teams' college football playoff aspirations going forward from this game. And for Marcel Reed now, I never doubted him as an athlete, never doubted him as a thrower of the football downfield. The thing a year ago, which is, I think, a big reason why A&M didn't finish the year they wanted to finish the year, Le'Veon Moss was hurt, okay, so you didn't have as much help in the backfield. And then, 2, you didn't have a guy to go stretch the field on the offensive side of the football. Both those things should be boxes that are checked for A&M in this spot, which to me then says, okay, we get to maximize Marcel Reed against a team that likes to apply pressure and likes to play man coverage. Pressure against Marcel Reed with his athleticism, I think he'll be out the back door a lot for big gains. I also think that there's going to be a couple of matchups here that both Mario Craver and Casey Concepcion are able to win on the perimeter, and those make for big plays, and Marcel Reed has a game and a half and asserts himself as one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. And through 2 weeks of the college football season, I think one of the best quarterbacks in college football. So this is a stage for Marcel Reed to announce himself. I think he just does just that, and I cannot wait to watch what he does in this spot and hopefully in our last take here make us right. Now, what would a win for A&M mean? We said it during our preview, and we said it also during our stakes video on yesterday's show. But this is a game now that I think, should you win it if you're A&M, it changes the entire optics around what you believe A&M football to be. Because it's Jimbo Fisher, it's Kevin Sumlin, and it's good years. You had the 2020 year for Jimbo Fisher. You had the Heisman year for Johnny Manziel under Kevin Sumlin. But for the most part, it's been talented but underachieving. Hey, good roster, not as good a record. For A&M now under Mike Elko, you hired him to major in, we say this a lot, but the other stuff, culture, toughness. This is a spot against Notre Dame that majors in culture and toughness. So if you go beat them at their place, what does that say about you? What does that say about what Mike Elko has done in a year and 2 games on the job in College Station? I think it would speak volumes, and I think, again, it changes the way that you view A&M. You view them now as a team that can get into the mix with anybody, and even if they aren't the more talented team on that day, they still, because of the other stuff, have a way to then go win the football game. All right, so A&M, I think you view them totally different coming out of this spot should they win this game against Notre Dame. And for full transparency, we have picked A&M to win this game. All right, we're not riding the fence here. I've picked A&M to win. We'll double down on that. Now, if we're wrong, which has happened before, won't lie to you, it's happened a time or two on this show. If we're wrong and Notre Dame wins, guess what? They're up off the ropes. The Miami loss, you got a week to think about it. They're up off the ropes. Maybe more importantly, you have a bargaining chip for the college football playoff committee when you get to the end of the year. Let's just say that Notre Dame ends up dropping another game somewhere along the schedule. Like if they go 11-1, they're in the playoff, no question about it. But let's say that Notre Dame somehow, some way drops one more game throughout the course of the regular season with no conference title game. They're going to get to Selection Sunday, and the playoff committee is going to say, okay, what's your resume? It's kind of a gross conversation to have at the end of the year. I digress. But what's your resume, Notre Dame? And they're going to say, well, we beat Texas A&M. And I think A&M is actually going to be a win that would age pretty well for the Irish, just so we're on the same page. We beat A&M. Boom. Here we go. I think that win would be enough to at least make the conversation very close to if you put a 10-2 Notre Dame in at the end of the college football season and put them in the playoff. That's just my opinion on this. All right. So in this spot for Notre Dame, obviously if you lose control. But if you beat Notre Dame and still lose another game down the road, that win is going to age better than I think a win over a Boise State or a win over a USC. It gives you, again, just the best win. You can put your best foot forward for the College Football Playoff Committee when the dust settles on this season. So there you have it. Our final takes on this game. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be locked in. Again, we'll have reaction for you after this game finishes up. We'll have thoughts for you in real time over on my socials, Instagram, Twitter, at Jody PicKell. We appreciate y'all making this show what it is. For Caden Smith, the ones and twos. For myself, Jody PicKell, we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. We will keep this party rolling, and we will see y'all next time.